Hello, everyone. Today, my name is Charles, and today we're going to be talking about a lovely, lovely subject known as social well-being or pro-social action. Right? Today, we're going to be talking about good relationships, right? And about not having a social isolation. So, we're gonna break some myths while we do it too. We're gonna break some wonderful myths. So imagine this is you, right? This is you. You are, Guppy Dude right here on planet Big Rock. So this is planet Big Rock, and you are Guppy Dude on planet Big Rock. You are on this. And some people are gonna think, right? Some people have this idea that, they're doing it all on their own. This is essentially the argument against the lone wolf, right? Some people think they are a lone wolf, and that is insane, crazy. Now, let me draw some, right? So some people, here's why we're essentially going to talk about with this pro-social action or, social well-being. We're going to talk first about the myth and the idea why lone wolf is a total myth. And then we're going to talk about how to have, positive, pro-social, wonderful human relationships, connections, and friendships. So this is the lone wolf, right? And let's say we're going to create a nice little new paint page. So here's why. First, we're going to break the lone wolf myth. Here's why being a lone wolf is a myth. Let's say we're going to do it on a couple layers, right? It's layered. So let's say right now you're like, I'm a lone wolf. I can do things. I am 100% self-reliant, right? I can do everything on my own. Well, here's why that is just a giant crock of shit. Just to be frank with you, that's a giant crock of shit. And I'm going to explain why. So, first reason is if you are listening to this and you are using and you can understand English, where do you think you got that language English? You think you made it up? You think all the concepts and ideas that you use to understand everything that everyone tells you, to read all the street signs, to get your groceries, to pay your things, to do everything, even in America's hyper-commercialized, independent, atomized, yada, yada. You really think you made all that English up and you just magically understand what everyone's saying? No. They taught you. They told you. They explained it to you. They spent time and energy and all this stuff, and they shared all of it with you. They shared the language. Now, this isn't to guilt you like, oh, they shared the language, now you owe them something. But it's like, dude, you're not a lone wolf. To even understand this video, you had a bunch of people when you were a little baby or when you were older, and they said a bunch of signs and symbols to you, and they explained to you what they mean. Or they talked to you enough, communicated, loved you, supported you, spent time with you until you figured it out. So you're definitely not a lone wolf in language. Definitely not that. And now we're going to do for the 99.9% of people, right? And that is right. If you live right now in a house, we're gonna go in every demographic. Let's say you live in a house right now, right? You live in a house, or you're a student and you go to a school. Do you think anything? I mean anything in the external world, any big vision, right? Let's say you want to get an education or you want to get a job. You honestly think? Do you think you're working? Do you think even if you're independent, right? Education or job. Let's say any of these things. Do you think they're not related to people? Who are you helping? Who is paying you? There's no lone wolf there. Even if you're a salesman, even if you're an independent contractor, you're connected to a company. And what is a company full of? People. So you're still not a lone wolf when it comes to your survival, which is the job. And in terms of your education, in terms of your learning, what? You think even, right, education and learning, right? Let's say you're like, I can learn this all on my own. I can do it all by myself. I am self-taught. Dude, where is the information? Who are you getting the information from? The information, if it's on the internet, you think it's just poofed on the internet? No. People put it on the internet. If you think like, I'm self-made, I've learned this all on my own. Let's say you learned a craft or a trade in the real world, right? You learned how to work with wood and tools. You were working with people, even if it's the supplies you used. Even if we give you the most benefit of the doubt for people who think they're lone wolves, that wood, those tools, everything you're using to make the things you're using, if you're like a woodworker, people made that. People designed that. You bought it from someone or you got it from someone. So there were other people involved 100% of the way in your education. Even if you learn off YouTube, you think somebody posted it. A human being posted that content. So definitely not a lone wolf in education. You're definitely not a lone wolf in your job. Someone is paying you. Someone probably taught you. There's probably coworkers you work with, right? Language, the ability to even understand what all those people say and do and think. You didn't make English up. Or if it's Chinese or any language you speak, you didn't make it up. Other people, you can make up certain words. You could make up your own language. But whatever language you speak right now that you communicate with other people, you didn't make it up. Other people gave it to you, and they shared it with you. And then in the job, they share the craft, the pursuit, the vision, the service. And same with education. They share the knowledge, the wisdom, the teachings, everything. Now let's say even further, right? You're like, well, what if, guys? Let's say you really want to stick to this lone wolf idea, and you're like, man, I pay for all my own stuff. Okay, let's say you pay for all your own stuff, and you got the money somehow that wasn't from another human being, even though money is printed by human beings. It has dead old human beings on. It's like money is literally green pieces of paper with dead old human beings. And some other human being gave that to you. But suppose you magically got the money, right? I'll give you the most benefit of the doubt for those who think they're lone wolves. That food that you are eating, 99% of people, 99.9% of people, how'd you get that food? There was a truck driver. There's one guy, so there's a truck driver. And then the truck driver, there's a farmer, right? So there's a farmer who gave it to the truck driver. And then the truck driver, guess what he did? He drove it to the grocery store. And then guess what the grocery store did? The grocery store had workers, aka human beings, right? Put it up on the shelves. And then, you know what you did from the money you most likely got from other people? The teller rang you up and gave you the groceries. So on every step of the way, even when you get food, which you think, I pay for all by myself, I'm a lone wolf. Dude, everybody helped you get it. Everybody. The whole society is helping you get what you want. We're all collaborating. We're all together. So no matter what you do, if you're living in society, 99.9% of people live in society. And even if you're living in a tribe and you're hunting for food, the other people in the tribe are helping you hunt for the food. And so all this is essentially love. All this collaboration is essentially love. And that is what we are going to be grateful for. So how do we then? And this ties into the video. So now that we know that the lone wolf idea is smashed by love, right? Love and collaboration. Because we know for any endeavor, for any grand business or dream, even if you're independent or you made your own business, everybody helped you along the way. There's no self-made man. That's made up. You made that up in your head with the language that other people gave you. They gave you the word self and they gave you the word made, and you made up that you were self-made. It's not true. Everyone's sharing. Everyone's interdependent. So that's just not true. And especially if you live in society, even if you were, you know what, we can do the ultimate thing. Even if you were birthed, you think you just spawned in, that you did it all by yourself. You were birthed. And not in 99.9% of people were taken care of. Like you didn't, when you were 5 years old, were you fending for yourself? Most people know. Now, this is not to discredit the suffering and the pain that comes with, disenfranchised homes or difficult situations. It's not to say that every parent or, caretaker or caregiver is a perfect caregiver that does everything right all the time. This is not to invalidate anyone's suffering, right? Genuinely. This is simply to show that we are all fundamentally interdependent. No self-made men, no lone wolves exist. That's not real. That's made up. And so, now that the love shows us the truth that sets us free, we now know we are all interdependent. So if you are Guppy person here, let's go back to the original drawing. You are Guppy. You're a Guppy, right? You're Guppy on planet Rock. And so you're Guppy on planet Rock. And there are all these people. There are all these people, right? All these people along the way who helped you get where you are, and you helped them. You helped influence them to where they are. And so the question is for pro-social, there's two things. If we are all interdependent, and if we are all connected, if we are all essentially in interdependence, forming the society, the homes, the romantic relationships, the friendships, every form of connection and bond and human-to-human relationship that we form, right? How would we like those to be tied together? If we are interdependent, if we are essentially tied, no matter what we do, how would we like that to be tied? And I think there's two ties that will lead to pro-social, to happy times, to good social relationships, to happy interdependence. There are two things that lead to happy interdependence. And you want to know what those things are? Would you like to know? Because I'd love to share it with you. Happy interdependence. What leads to happy interdependence? Well, the first is heart-to-heart love, right? Love all binds us. Love is the first thing that binds us. If we were, love is the most fundamental thing that binds all of us, right? That connects all human beings. All human beings desire love. They desire to give love. They desire to be loved. They desire to feel that sweetness of emotion, to feel that connectedness and an interpersonal connection, whether it be in your relationship, like your romantic relationship, your marriage, with your boyfriend or girlfriend, in your friendships, like a brotherly love, a sisterly love, in your familial relationships, your love there, and even in your, depending on what religious beliefs you have, your spiritual love, right? All forms of love. We essentially, with all the words we give it, we all want to be loved, and we all want to be loved, and we all want to give love. So that's the first thing that's going to lead to good pro-social behavior. And the second is because what can be done in love will not lead to control. And what leads to control, or what control leads to fighting, either rebellion or submission, whereas love can naturally allow things. And then the second thing is, and this is a little prayer sign, or I don't know how to write a prayer sign, but the second thing is appreciation, gratitude. So now, if we are all bound by love, and if we all as humans wish for that, right? For every person we meet, for our who we're devoted to, for our friendships, for our familial relationships, for everyone, all we have to do to have positive relationships in those moments is to appreciate. Appreciate. That's all we got to do. You may not agree with everything your friend says. You may not, this, that, or the other, right? But as long as you appreciate their presence, so as long as you're grateful for their presence, their time, their energy, naturally out of that gratitude, good things come. Because guess what? Just like in the earlier example, right? Why do we appreciate? Now, I am a Christian, so when I bow my head and I eat food, right, and I thank God for my food, Or if you're not like I thank God for my food, my daily bread. Now, if you're not a Christian, right? How can you also appreciate? Understanding that this is just an example, right? How can you appreciate other people? Let's say right now no one is around you, and you're like, well, how am I supposed to, Charles, have pro-social relationships? No one's around me. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? When you eat food, right? Suppose you DoorDashed or you got food from the grocery store, wherever you got your food, right? Sit down and instead of bowing your head and praying to God, just think and appreciate the chain of people, the interconnected chain of people that brought you your food. Think about this, right? Just like in that earlier example, just like I was explaining earlier, you can appreciate the first step, the farmer. You can be like, thank you, farmer, for cultivating that food. And thank you to the delivery driver or the truck driver who brought the food to the grocery store. And thank you to the grocery store people for putting it up on the shelves and selling it and allowing me to get it. And thank you to the government for FDA approval or allowing the sale of organic things. And then thank you to whoever got me this money, whether it was my work, whether it was my this, that, or the other. Thank you to that people. And then thank you for this food because it tastes delicious. So in that chain of appreciation, that's how we got our food. And so all you have to do, right, in every moment is recognize the interdependence that led you to where you were and then be grateful for that. You can be grateful to God. You can be grateful, I'll be grateful. You can be grateful to God. You can be grateful for the chain of interdependence that led you to where you are now. And you can be grateful for life itself. Like, think about it like this, right? Think about it like this, right? You, right? Whoever you are watching this video, even the computer or device or phone you are on right now. Let's say you're like, but Charles, I have I don't have that full of a fridge right now, and I'm hungry. Even in that moment, and this is, at that point, you should probably just go start figuring out how to find food. Like, click off this video, figure out how to find food, take care of yourself. You're watching this video, that's for sure. But if you do have some food and you're just listening to this video and you're like, I'm not even hungry, Charles, so how am I supposed to recognize this? You can literally look at the phone. You can look at the phone. You can look at you can look at the device you're on, and you can just, in the same way, thank you to the thank you to the engineers who designed this. Thank you to the inventors who invented this device, and then the engineers who designed it. Thank you to the company that created it, or the manufacturers. Thank you to the delivery people who brought it to the stores. Thank you to the salespeople who allowed the businesses who allowed the sale to the phone. Thank you to whoever got me the money to buy the phone or the device. Thank you to myself for choosing love and buying something that helps me stay connected and learn information. Thank you to the people. And then even further, you could be like, thank you for the people who invented Wi-Fi so I can watch this, or data. Thank you, right? In anything, you can recognize the chain of people who brought it there. That's how you realize, that's how you solve the old, I know, of course, some people are harder and easier to deal with, right? That's all understandable. There's going to be times where it is hard to get along with people. But if you just recognize always the chain of connection that led you, the chain of interdependence that led you to where you are now, that led you to the situation, that led you to the things, the gifts, the talents, anything that you have now, or even to the God that led you to where you are now. And then even to the love and the nurturing you've received and you give out and that you experience on a day-to-day basis, that's all you have to do to have pro-social relationships, to have happy connection here on earth. That's really it. Just love and appreciation. There's no super complicated philosophy or, you know, oh, you got to say this funny thing or micromanage this, or I got to perfectly do everything perfectly and I just got to say the right thing always and this, and like in some friendship or relationship. You don't have to do that. You just have to appreciate and love, and the rest sort of figures itself out. So hopefully this video helped you. This is all just how to have happy relationships, and it's pretty easy. It's pretty simple, you know. And so it can be difficult at times. It's not to say that like everybody is super easy to get along with, but really, as long as you have love and appreciation, you'll make it. You'll get along with people. You'll have pro-social interactions. You'll be happy, and you'll certainly feel love and appreciation. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, and until next time, this has been Charles.